Welcome to Unstuck TV. Today we have a special edition for you. Rather than having one of our normal speakers on, today we have a special guest, Denise Newcomb. Denise was a guest at our last Unstuck Happiness Conference, and we brought her in today just to talk about her experience and what she learned from Unstuck. Welcome, Denise.
Thank you.
So tell us how you got involved. How did you find your way to our last conference?
So a friend of mine, Amanda, she told me about the Unstuck conference. I just recently moved here to Las Vegas and just finding my way around town and, not really quite comfortable with everything. So I was feeling a little stuck in a lot of ways. And she told me about the conference and I went and it was absolutely amazing.
So tell us about your experience.
So I basically cleared out my Saturday and went there, and every speaker had something that I could relate to, and I left wanting more, to be honest.
Okay. Can you give us some examples, just some takeaways that you got from the last conference?
Yeah, I mean, it made me feel a lot better to know that other people in different aspects of their life, like, better paying jobs and things like that, like, were going through the same struggles as I was, as far as like depression, anxiety, and being down on their luck, and just being able to pull through it. So.
That's one of the things I love about running the conferences as well. We had people who literally had spent time homeless, who are now serving homeless, up to people who were very successful rising stars in politics and in business. And everybody shared that common bond of having been stuck and having to go through a process to get themselves moving. So today is a little bit different. We're opening it up for our guest, for Denise to have a little Q&A session with me about the conference itself.
So
anything you'd like to know?
I do. So how did you get into public speaking?
That's a great question. Never would have imagined it, but back in April of 2009, I had a daughter. Abigail was born April 20th, 2009, and my daughter was born with a genetic disorder, trisomy 18, and she lived with us for 2 days before she passed. And there was a lot of stuff in that time. I had only been married for 3 months. My mom died like literally the day after I found out that I was having a daughter. Found myself alone and miserable for a while, and I actually sat down and started writing just all this head knowledge that I had that I hadn't started applying to my own life yet. And I just, for about a week and a half, just wrote down everything I knew about getting myself moving again. And that's how I came up with my first book, Finding Your Happiness. And after that, I had the book, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this? And I should start speaking. So I joined a couple different organizations for speaking. I found the National Speakers Association, joined that. I went through their academy training program and just met some really amazing people through that process and started doing my own workshops. And actually had a radio show that was the Finding Your Happiness show. Started doing my own small workshops just based on the book, and that's it. It's not something I ever imagined I was going to do. I never meant to do it. It was literally my own healing process that brought me to a point where I realized that I had something that could help people, and just sharing that. So that's how public speaking became my life. So.
Awesome. So how did Unstuck come about from all of that?
Unstuck was another very fortunate accident, you could say. After finishing the training program through the National Speakers Association, my first thought was, well, now I'm going to get out there and start giving speeches, but who am I going to speak to? And I told you, I met all these people who had these amazing stories, and I thought, well, rather than me trying to find people to speak, like audiences to speak to, why don't I just create one, bring together all these great stories that I had, and let's do a public conference. Let's just do an open public seminar. So at the time, I was literally completely broke. And I thought, let's do a public seminar. Let's just get a conference room, and we'll invite all these people. And in my mind, we'd open the doors and thousands of people would rush in, and it would be just this incredible event. Well, didn't quite work that way. Literally, I had no money at the time. I'm not a gambler, but I do love college football. So I went and made a college football parlay bet and hit for like $600, and I literally had the money in my hands, and I went to put it in my pocket, and like, if I don't do something now, I never will. And so that's when I rushed down to the casino, it was actually New Orleans at the time, rushed down there, and I'm like, what is the smallest conference room you have on the cheapest day? I need to do a conference. And the lady there was looking through it. She's like, I can give you January 2nd, a room that holds like 20 people. I'm like, great, I'll take it. We're doing a conference. So here I am scheduling a conference for January 2nd in Las Vegas. And if you know anything about Las Vegas on New Year's, nobody's coming to a conference on January 2nd. And literally a room that would hold 20 people. And so that's how it began. Obviously, that conference did not take place January 2nd. But in the process of filling out the paperwork, I found out that the person I was working with lived in my neighborhood. She was super nice. And I called her. I'm like, look, this isn't happening. I'm going to have to cancel. Well, rather than cancel, we moved it back to March. And that gave me an extra couple of months to work on it. And the first conference happened March of 2016. And it was literally 35 people showed up. It was almost canceled several times. I found myself a little stuck in the process of hosting the Unstuck conference, but we pushed on, did it anyway, and it was an amazing, amazing event.
Awesome. So how has it evolved since then?
Wow. It has evolved tremendously. That first event was literally just, I handpicked a bunch of speakers that I knew had great stories, but none of us had any experience with social media, marketing, promoting events, sponsorships, anything. It was literally, let's get a room, invite all your friends, and I kind of even made a deal with everybody. I'm like, if you guys bring people, I'll split the profits with you. We'll just have a great day. And of course, nobody did anything because none of us really knew how. Yeah. So how we got 35 people there was actually amazing. We had people found it online, and people came from Atlanta and all parts of California. It was awesome to have people there, but we really didn't know what we were doing structurally at putting on a conference. So we have learned a lot in a very short time. The group of people have, some have changed, some have stayed the same. I try to mix it up so that we have about half of the conference new speakers every time, which I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we move on. But it has literally been such a learning process, and I love it. I really wouldn't have it any other way.
Awesome.
So, you obviously got to see the most recent one. You didn't get to see the first one.
Right.
So from an organization standpoint, is there anything that stood out to you just in the manner that it ran?
It was just very inviting. People were super nice, getting involved. Like, there was a couple different activities in between speakers that you could really get like hands on, and it wasn't just the speakers there, it was the whole staff, and just keeping us entertained and motivated.
By staff, she means volunteers
Yeah.
who were awesome at helping out, because there was no staff at that point. So.
Yeah, misspoke.
I love that you thought that, though, because it gave the impression that people were bought in by that point.
Yeah.
We had people that have come alongside us and are willing to help and donated their time and their energy because they believe in what we were doing. And so the fact that we were able to put it on, and it really did look like a staff, and I say that with sincere gratitude to all the people that were there helping. That speaks volumes for the speakers that were on stage, and the kind of caliber of people that we had. So,
Absolutely.
so I'm very thankful for that. We are going to take a break here for a minute, and we will be back talking with Denise Nuka.
Thank you.